Perfect. So today we're going to be talking about a goal setting reset. And a lot of people have done goal setting in the past, and one thing I find is that we don't look at it often enough. I mean, you might look at it when you first get in the business, and then 7 years later, you haven't really readjusted your goal setting. So I've found that goals change as we move forward. So every year, essentially, your goals will change because you're a different person, you're standing in a different place. Um, just things are different. So today, what we're going to do is an exercise that is going to uncover where you're at right now so that you have a better idea on what you need to be doing tomorrow. So you'll have to grab a sheet of paper. If you just have a scrap piece of paper or a blank sheet of paper, that'll be fine. We're going to go through an exercise where you're going to list off all your ideas of what your goals are in any order. It doesn't matter. We're just going to start listing a whole bunch of goals. So make sure you have a piece of paper, and when we do that, at the end of it, once the paper is full, we're going to go down and rate them. So we're going to say these are all my 1 year goals, these are all my 3 year goals, all my 5 year goals, and all my 10 year goals. So you're going to put a number beside each one of them. And what that's going to allow us to do is clump them all together so that you can put all your 1 year goals together, all your 3 year, 5, and 10. And then by looking at that, you can see which ones are the most important for your 1 year that you want to start working on tomorrow. Which ones are the most important that you can get done in 3 years. So we're going to have a clear understanding of what your top goals are based on time. So 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10 year. And then once we have that list, we're going to have this sheet of paper that I'm going to email you guys. It's your daily time blocker, and it's going to help you stay on track to reach your goals. So one thing I find is, for me personally, to reach all the goals I want to do, it comes down to I have to prospect every day, follow up with my leads, add people to my database, and send a note card every day. Well, what we do in life is people just put a laundry list of their to-dos. So they'll have a list of everything they want to get done today, and they'll start with that stuff before they do the important stuff like this. So I'm going to give you guys this daily time blocker. And on it, it has this box up at the top, and it's your 45-minute kickstart. So I literally pull out an egg timer for 45 minutes, and when that egg timer is clicking, no checking email, no checking Facebook, no Instagram, Twitter, no nothing. The only thing I can do is either prospect, follow up, add to my database, or send out a note card. And when I do one of these, I'll just draw in the circle. Now, there's no right or wrong way of doing this. You can go right across, you can do one of each category, you can go down on an angle. The only wrong way of doing this is not doing it at all, right? So when you get this template, you're going to be able to change whatever these tasks are for you. So for me, it's prospecting and follow-up, but for you, it could be something else. And these numbers don't matter either. I mean, you could have higher numbers, you could have different numbers altogether. The trick to this is being consistent. Imagine if every day, 5 days a week, you did this kickstart and you did the basics of your business that truly contribute to your end goals. That's what this tool is all about. So I'm going to give you guys that sheet. But first, we have to start working on what your goals are. So grab a sheet of paper and start listing your goals. I'll help you by just mentioning different ideas. But anything you can think of, go ahead and write it down. It doesn't matter. You should see my piece of paper. I've got things written on angles. Like, it's all over. It's a big mess. So just write whatever your goals are. So maybe a goal for you could be buying a house or paying it off. Or what about reducing your monthly payments? Any of those goals that you have, to buy a house or to pay one off, or maybe to buy an investment property and start renting it out? Start reducing your monthly payments. Take a look at all your overhead and figure out ways that you can reduce that, because I'm sure you're flushing a lot of money down the drain. Maybe you have a goal of completing your taxes or other major tasks. Is there anything major and like really weighing you down that it seems like an overwhelming monster and that's why you haven't done it yet? Like maybe it's your database. You have a database and it's just full of people that you don't even know what to do with next. Start tackling these big major tasks. Write them down as goals, finishing up whatever major paperwork you have to do. These would be 1 year goals. Maybe you want to start a new business. I mean, most of you guys are in real estate, but these can be 10-year goals too. So what do you want to be doing in 10 years? Maybe it's not real estate. Anything I say, go ahead and jot it down. And if you think of something, then it doesn't have to be what I'm saying. Just whatever you can come up with, write it down. More is better because we're going to rate them later and give you a better understanding. Maybe you want to have a baby. Or maybe your family has kids and you just want to spend more time with them. I know that's my situation. My sister has kids, and when they were younger I didn't spend much time, so I'm trying to redeem myself now as they get older, but we do lose time quickly, don't we? So maybe one of your goals is to have a baby, or to have a connection with somebody in your family that you should. Some of you have goals to partner up with someone, like a relationship, or maybe you want to partner up in business and start a team. Exercise could be one for many of you. Maybe you want to start running. I mean, I'm more concerned with my flexibility and my movement than I am with lifting 300 pounds. So every day my goal is, I don't do yoga, it's like my own version of it, but I do stretching every day. And because I think by the time I'm 80 or 90, I'll really appreciate having the movement and flexibility at that age. But what exercises do you want in your life? Maybe you do want to lift 400 pounds and crush me because I don't want to lift 300, right? Whatever your exercise is, if you have an exercise goal, write it down. It could be walking, getting into a new sport, it could be anything. Do you have any projects on your plate? Like, are you building anything, or does anything need cleaned up or completion? Take a look around your house. Have you started any renos that aren't finished yet? Or have you talked about getting something done? Inside the house, outside the house, at the office, at the cottage? Any projects. It could even be building a car. What are the different projects that you have that you want to get done in your life? Maybe you have a goal of being more disciplined. The discipline to do the consistent stuff, like sending the thank you cards and follow-up calls and prospecting. That should be a goal for most realtors, is the discipline to do the daily stuff. Maybe the discipline to get out of bed in the morning and get to work. Maybe that's your goal. You have a goal of waking up at a certain time every day and being in the office by a certain time every day. Write those times down. Maybe you want to write a book and become an expert and truly understand something. Like, be a craftsman with whatever you do. I've always taken that mindset. I always go above and beyond whatever area I'm in. If I'm up to something, I always want to truly understand all the different angles of it so that I can help others with that. So don't just be able to do the job. Be a craftsman about it. Have an art form to whatever it is you're doing. It could be advertising. With real estate, most of us have that where we need to be an advertiser. Maybe you want to be a speaker about that topic. Could be anything. Learning a language. Do you want to learn another language? What would that be? I would probably say I would do Spanish and Mandarin. What would you do? Maybe you want to win an office award or move up past your current ceiling. What's the number you want for next year? So if this year you're making 80,000. Maybe next year you want to make 120. What's the ceiling that you're breaking through to? Maybe you're at 800,000 and you want to break the million. Write those goals down. Maybe you want to open a brokerage or grow an existing one. Or you want to start a team or join a team. You might want to master the scripts you need to handle objections like a natural. These could all be quite possible goals for you. And it doesn't have to be a goal of this year or next year. It could be 10-year goals. Maybe in 10 years you want to be a part of a brokerage. Is your retirement set? What's that look like to you? And when is that? Some of you it's in 5 years, some of you it's in 30. It's never too early to start looking at that. How's that going to work out for you? What do you need in order to retire? What are the numbers of the financing? Where do you want to be physically? What part of the world do you want to be in? What do you want to own? Who do you want to be with? And it can be smaller goals too, like a new hobby. I mean, I'd like to learn kiteboarding. You might like to learn art, or to build something, or to join a community sport. What's a smaller hobby that you could get into? Could be learning a new instrument. Because it's not all business. I mean, you got to have a life too. So what do you want to learn about? What are the things that when you're watching TV and you see other people doing it, you think, man, I want to try that? Write that down. I'm going paddle boarding this weekend in the beaches. The weekend before that, I did a 30K bike ride, and then the weekend before that, I went to a petting zoo. I keep doing different things. And so this list you're creating, stretching yourself now will reveal the things under the surface. So we might have even touched on a couple things that you kind of had in the back of your mind, but now that you have it on paper, it's becoming, I mean, it's really important when you take a look at your list of what you write, and then when we're done this, reread the list. Those things that you wrote are important for whatever reason to you. So it's a pretty cool exercise to be able to see what comes out of your head as far as goals. Maybe you have to add adventure to your life. Do what you always wanted to do. I mean, some people get to a certain age and then they feel that they're too old to do something that they always wanted, and then they have that regret. You don't want regrets. Do whatever it is that you want to do. Go ride a horse. I mean, you can literally almost do anything that you want to. What did you want to do when you were a kid? Go back to being a kid. It doesn't matter how old you are. Maybe a goal is to quit smoking, or consume less coffee, and to drink more water, right? Maybe you're doing stuff that you know you shouldn't be doing. Having cleaner thoughts. What are the things that you don't want to be doing? And the wording that we have, just put it on the paper, and then we'll figure out the wording after. Because don't worry about how you word it, just get it on the paper. I want to quit smoking. I don't want to drink any more coffee. Less coffee. No more sugars. Maybe you want to add a new pillar to your business. Maybe you want to add farming. Maybe it's time, inch by inch, that you add a new system to your business. Maybe farming isn't one of them, and you want to add that. Or prospecting. For FSBOs, for example. Maybe you don't work for referrals. Maybe you haven't been touching your sphere of influence. simply because you don't have a database and you don't know that system. Well, those systems are out there and you can learn. Just put it on the piece of paper. If that's the pillar you want to add, make it your 1 year goal that you're going to add that. That way you reach your 3 year goals on doubling your income. Maybe you want to add internet leads. That's my favorite one. Or you want to do more open houses. Not a lot of agents like that, but you know what? Those people who are going through those open houses are actually looking at houses today. Those guys are looking at buying. Maybe you have to add new skills and tools to your business, like the scripts or time blocking, lead follow-up, a lead generation. Maybe your goal is to be a lead generator, or to add more technology to free up your time or allow you to leverage. Technology allows you to leverage. Maybe you don't have a database and that's why you haven't been doing your referrals and sphere of influence. You need a database. Maybe that's a goal, to get a database. Maybe you have a database and your goal is to clean it up so you actually use it. Don't they become overwhelming monsters where you log into your database and it's telling you to do 5 million things and you don't know where to start? Maybe a clean slate. That's what I did. I jumped ship to a brand new database, started from scratch. Now I'm following up every day with my most important task. Maybe you have a goal of growing your team or your volume of personal leads. Maybe right now, if you take a look at the numbers, you're getting 10 leads a month. And simply by adding internet, you could double that to 20 or 30 leads a month for you personally. Maybe you have a goal of just getting a certain number of leads per month, because this is a numbers game, right? How much do you want to make to net next year? What's that number? And by net, I mean after expenses, after your marketing, after your association fees and branding and everything. What do you want to net after taxes? What's that number to you? And money means nothing if you have no life or health. So get a life, enroll in something. Maybe go to Toastmasters or join a local club of some sort, a community college program. I mean, the community colleges have topics on everything. I actually am trying to convince my dad to go get his lumberjack license with me. I have no purpose on becoming a lumberjack. I just think it'd be cool to go through that. I like being outdoors and apparently chopping wood. So just get out and do different things. Join a community college. This work all day and crash at night game is being lost by many of us. Time flies, don't you agree? What in the last 5 years, things have changed. People get complacent. I say get out there. Get out and do stuff. Maybe you need to have faith or find a faith and a connection to a higher energy. That's a big topic with a lot of people for good reason. Less screen sucking. Yeah, what's that mean? No TV, less Facebook. Give your eyes and mind a break. Oh man, that's what I do when I do my stretching every night. No TV, no nothing. It's kind of like meditation, only it's not. But from the moment we wake up, people check their Facebook on their phone. Go to the office, they're on the computer all day. Come home, they're on the TV. Go to bed, check their Facebook. Fall asleep, and then wake up and do it all over again. It's exhausting. And it positions in your head what's important, and that's other people dictating to you what's important. These screens we look at suck our lives. Maybe you have a goal of something simple, like getting a new wardrobe. Maybe your style is getting a little dated. Your clothes are old and you want a new self-image. Maybe you want to make simple connections in life, like take out your top sphere out for lunch. So all the people in your database, your best sources of people you want to do business with, take them all out for lunch. Send them a quick text right now at the end of this. Just send them a text, say, hey, just thinking of you, whatever. They're your people, so you'll know what to say. So, hey, just thinking of you, blah, blah, blah. That's all it is. You don't have to say, hey, just thinking of you. Do you know anybody buying a home, selling a home, or investing in real estate? Make that connection. Do some relationship building. The art of staying in touch and truly wanting to know about them is lost, don't you think? I have a typo, I gotta correct that. Maybe you want to pet an animal, like dolphins, monkeys, or seals. Are there any crazy animals that you want to just be near at least once in your life? Just recently, I trained a wild robin to fly to me. When I called his name, I called him Tony Robbins. And I could exercise in the backyard with him on my shoulders. And it was a wild bird. In the mailbox was a baggie of worms I bought at the pet store, and I would just call Tony Robbins and feed him. Wouldn't that be cool? To know a dolphin. To have a seal be able to recognize you. I think lions and tigers are really scary, but I've seen so many videos of them interacting with humans, not in a I'm going to eat you way, but you're my buddy. That would be so cool to experience. Write that down. Any animals you want to get out there and experience. Life's about a bunch of experiences, so get these experiences on the paper. Once they're on the paper, you have a greater chance of making it happen. Maybe you want to buy someone something they will truly benefit from having. Like maybe you have a kid and you know they would really benefit from having a car. And they haven't been that responsible, so that's why you haven't bought them a car, but I don't know. Maybe you could buy somebody something that they'll truly benefit from. What would that be and who would that be for? Maybe you want to buy yourself a gift. What would that be? A new phone, computer. Maybe you want a date night to the movies with your spouse because it's been 5 years. Or maybe you want to go to a dinner in a fancy hotel. What's something that you want? It can be small, doesn't matter. Go to a local zoo, the art galleries, amusement park. What's a few hours away from you that others fly to from around the world? I'm in Oshawa and people fly to Toronto from all over the world. And they come on trips and holidays to Toronto. I can drive to it in 45 minutes. What's in Toronto that these people are going to? Do a couple day trips with your family and experience what's in your own backyard that you take for granted. Speaking of taken for granted, try learning something that others take for granted, like swimming or riding a bike and spelling or waking up early. Maybe you can't swim. You can swim, you just haven't, right? So start learning how to swim. Riding a bike. Spelling. Okay, so my spelling is absolutely terrible, and in fact, I already found one typo in this presentation. So a couple years ago, I went to Sylvan Learning Center, which is a tutoring school for kids. So here I am in my 20s, sitting around a table with a bunch of 8-year-olds, and I paid like $2,000 to sit there. When the parents come to pick up the kids, I just pretended like I was one of the helpers. But no, I was there trying to spell better. Ego aside, I didn't care. I just wanted to learn that. Apparently it didn't help, but I still tried. Health. Maybe you have a goal to stop consuming fats and drugs and alcohol. Or maybe you want to add activity, like running and weights and joining a local sport. It could be anything. There's indoor soccer, there's, oh man, everything. think of a sport, it's probably in your city, and they're looking for people to join, and you don't have to know anybody in order to join. They will welcome you. They want people to join. Bowling. Anything. I want to learn archery, outdoor archery. This is the time to reinvent yourself. Take a look at the things you want and think, who do I need to be to achieve these goals? So who do you need to be? So for me, if I want to be a person that inspires others and have this coaching company, who do I have to be? I have to be purposeful with what I'm up to. You have to be who you want to be. Don't get stuck in the rut. Take a look at what the other people are doing who are just ahead of you and do that. Maybe you want to make life simple. Living the 4-hour work week by getting a nanny or a cleaner or a running assistant or a virtual assistant. A running assistant is the person who will go do your lock boxes and install your signs and that sort of thing. A virtual assistant can literally take any of the work that you're doing right now that isn't dollar productive. So I just did a trade show and I had hundreds of people give me their card. Well, I have to enter those cards into the system. So I just take a picture of all of those cards, send it off to the virtual assistant, and then she can add them to the database. It frees up your time. Maybe you need a cleaner just once a month. You can get a cleaner for once a month. You don't have to have them come every day or every week. Maybe just once a month, a good scrub down. Free up your life. So how are you doing? Do you have a full sheet yet? Getting a bunch of ideas? Goals can be combinations too, like walking your dog. I mean, walking your dog is also walking yourself. That's a combination. Handwritten notes with pictures on it. Maybe you want to do more art, and so you want to quickly sketch a quick little picture to all the people you send your note to. Maybe that will actually make you do your notes. People will really appreciate that. Even doing something with somebody else for their joy, not yours. Like, for my example, Becky absolutely loves when we go walk the dog. Not when she walks the dog, when we walk the dog. She gets more enjoyment out of it than Molly. So do something with somebody else that they'll get something out of. Maybe it's time for a career move. Maybe you want to become an office manager or service a different part of the industry. Is that a goal? Creating a community, like a network, club, or gathering. What's a community? Maybe you want to create a community in your area of real estate investors, and you truly service them by letting them know about all the deals. I set up a community. I put together a community of top realtors who service different parts of the GTA, so we're not competing with each other, and we openly share absolutely everything. What we pay for advertising, staffing, leads, revenues. We openly share everything because we're not competing. We're not even in the same companies. That's a community I created. It doesn't have to be business either. It could be a community for art or reading, making quilts. Maybe you have to mend a past relationship with your friends and family and strangers. It could start with a simple call. I mean, 10 years ago you could have been best friends and now you never talk. Pick up the phone, make that call. That could be a goal. A reconnection. Speaking of connection, find connection with something meaningful. What's an activity that you crave? Like working outdoors or being by animals. A lot of people crave that, but they don't do it. Mine is creative thinking. I apply it to all aspects of my life. Like, I know it sounds weird. What's meaningful to me, and it's creative thinking. I'm always trying to think creatively about any aspect. It could be about business, it could be about life, it could be about what am I going to do to have fun today. Maybe you have a goal of catching up from the past 10 years, like missed opportunities in business, your health, and your friends. I noticed my health has slipped since 10 years ago. What would you like to change? Start saying I love you more and practice gratitude. Saying thank you and removing negativity helps your vision on life. It wasn't till my late 20s that I really started saying I love you to my dad and my mom. Like, I always did, but I never said it. And then I noticed a big difference when I started saying it every time I would end a conversation. So we're on the phone, I would end off saying I love you. And the first time I did it to my mom on the phone in my late 20s, I could hear her pause and be confused because I never said it as I was when I was a teenager. I think that makes a difference. So, you've got your list of goals. I mean, you can add more goals after this, but you've got your list. It's a big, messy list, and that's cool. That's what we want. So now what I want you to do is go down that list and put a number beside each one. So the numbers are 1 year goals, 3 year goals, 5 year goals, and 10 year. So what are all the 1 year goals? Just go down the list and literally, this is a 1 year goal, this is a 1 year goal, this is a 1 year goal. Okay, this is probably a 3 year goal. This is maybe a 5 year goal. Put the numbers beside each one. And you don't have to rush. This will probably take about a minute or so. And don't get too hung up on it either. I mean, if you don't know if it's a 3 year goal or a 5 year goal, then just put it as a 3 year. My examples are, so for my top 1 year goals are I want to have a kid, um, I want to continue with being fit and healthy and flexible. I have a certain dollar per year income that I have listed. Combining more meditation, it's really important to me. Top 3 year goals, I want to take my dad out east. I want to take my mom to Egypt. I want to write a book. I could see that happening in the next 3 years. Top 5 goals, I want to have partners in my coaching company. 6 figure a year passive income. The maid, the cook, the runner, all that. Top 10 year goals, I want to own a church, the building of a church and a school. I want to own an animal rescue center and have a cottage so far north that you have to take a float plane to get to it. Those are 10 year goals. So go through your list. You'll probably be done now. And when you are, take a look at the list of all your 1 year goals and then rewrite them and put them in a category. So on the sheet of paper or another sheet of paper, put my top 1 year goals and then just list them. What are the top 1 year goals? And then over beside that, put my top 3 year goals and then list all your top 3 year goals. You don't have to re-put every one, just put your top ones because you can only do one thing at a time. So let's take the list and then reprioritize it. So what are your top 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10-year goals. Put them in their own category. As you're doing that, I'll tell you what inspired me to create this whole program. It's the book called Little Bets by Peter Sims. And it's a great book that illustrates how things are achieved. So they talk about breakthrough ideas emerge from small discoveries. Well, that could be reworded that says your goals are reached by small discoveries, by breaking it down and taking action. So for me, 3 years ago when I first started doing speaking, I knew that I had a passion for it and that I could truly help people, but I didn't know the business model behind it. So I didn't have a real plan. I just kind of went with the flow, and as things kind of unfoiled, every step of the way something else would open up, different opportunities. Little bets. You just constantly make little bets. So I want to share with you that we have your goals broken down by 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, and 10 year. Now we just have to start making little bets towards that. You don't have to have a full blueprint on getting there, because there isn't one, because the future doesn't exist. So what you do is you make little bets, inching your way towards those goals with the most logical direction at this moment where you stand. So I want to exit this and show you the Word document that you guys are going to get, because now we're going to start focusing on obviously your 1 year goals and whatever your top 1 year goal is. So I want to exit this, open up the Word document. So you're going to get a Word document and you can totally edit it. You can change anything you want. So on this Word document over on the left, it's going to have the time slots for the day, so from morning to night. In the middle of this Word document, you're going to be able to put a laundry list of everything you want to do. So everything you want to do, you just list it. Put a list of everything you want to get done, and then prioritize, just how we did with the other goals. You're going to prioritize based on, usually it comes down to what's the most dollar productive, right? So put in order how you want to get things done. And then you're going to start them over here based on what today's day looks like. So during this call, this video that we're making right now, it's from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. Well, that means your 12 to 1 is written off, so that's blocked off. So what are you going to be doing from 2 o'clock to 3 and 3 to 4? Maybe it should be your highest use, right? And to get in the habit of always being in the highest use, you really should start with this kickstart, because it only takes 45 minutes and it's going to get you in the habit of doing the most basic things that are going to help you make your little bets and reach your goals. I mean, prospecting, hands down across the board, is what most realtors say they need. I need more business. All my problems will be solved if I just have more leads. That's their whole mindset. And I agree to a certain extent that prospecting is super important. So I want to be consistent and do it every day, not just in spurts where I do an office program and they push us for a week and then after that I don't do any more of it. I want to be consistent with it. So every day I'm going to do my prospecting. There's no sense prospecting if you're not going to follow up. So every day I'm going to be consistent with following up from the last people I prospected. And you can't properly follow up with somebody if you don't have a database. So I have a plan that I want to add a certain number of people to my database every day. And then now that you got them in the database, you can easily send them a personal note. So set your 45-minute egg timer every morning or whenever you start your work. Set it for 45 minutes and do the kickstart. This is going to set the tone for the rest of your day. You're going to be in a work mindset and you would have already gotten done your major tasks. Now you can go ahead and do the busybody work, all the things that you put down here as a to-do. And I also have, so this is you have a list. You're going to put all your to-dos and number them in order of importance. Well, the first one is to do the kickstart. The second one is to do the next step towards your milestone for the year. So take a look at the list of your top 1-year goals. Maybe that one of them includes learning how to play piano. Okay, well, what would be the next step in that milestone? Well, I should call up the piano lessons and book it, or at least go in and sit in on a session, right? Every day, this forces you to take a look at your 1-year goals and make the little bet to make it happen. I bet if you called up a piano company and said, I want to come in for piano lessons, but can I try it out? I'm sure they'd work something out. Just make those little bets. And the key part to all of this is accountability. Up at the top of the sheet of paper, it has the date and your signature. So if you work as a team or a group, 5 days a week, you can have this piece of paper and you simply just sketch in everything you did, date it and sign it, and when you meet with that person, they'll have their 5 sheets of paper, and all you guys really care about is, did they do their kickstart? Because if you do your kickstart, the rest of your day is going to fall in place. And if it doesn't, then you probably shouldn't be in the business. So this is a great way for you to be accountable with other people in your office. Or if you have a team, every team member should be doing this kickstart and dating and signing. That way when you do your team meetings, they can all show, hey, look, I did the important stuff consistently. That's all that matters. Or your office manager, if they would do that with you, meet up with you, and you could show them that you did your time blocking and your accountability. So you guys are going to get this emailed to you. I appreciate you being with me, and I'm going to open this up if there's any questions. So let's take a look.